for you to take a look at really quick while I make a couple posts before we jump into some cues here. And Facebook and Twitter. All right. We are going. All right, so here's the deck. Deck list was sent to me by Zach Vandelblatt, and yeah, Teamer Jace. I like the shell. I made a couple changes, mainly to the sideboard. The main board's about the same. I'm actually playing Corsair Crewfix over. He plays Tireless Tracker, which I don't think is necessarily wrong, but I just like the synergy of Jace and Corsair Crewfix, so I wanted to test that out and see how it works. And I used to play the old Rug Jace deck with Oracle, Moldiah, and Jace, so maybe I'm just being nostalgic about that. Maybe Tireless Tracker is better. Who knows? Sideboard I did change up quite a bit. He was really heavy on Blood Moons. I added Staticasters. He had more negate and counter spells. Overall, not really that much different, but this is more or less the same list. I would say about 90% the same. So let's go ahead and jump in a queue and see how this operates. I have no idea. It looks fine. I like all the cards in it. Alright. I have never tested this deck before, so there we go. Play. And cool. Let's fit that to the screen. And we would like to play first. His hand looks good. We will lead off with a Stomping Ground into a bird. Go. Say go. Alright, so he fatal pushed it. I think I'm still gonna run out the bird here. Because next turn, we can just run out bird. I was gonna say if we don't hit a land drop there, it makes the play a little more awkward because maybe then we want to play ooze just to have something on the board. But or for the following turn. But I think that this is fine. Gives us a chance to not take damage off of this wooded foothills. Untapped is odd. Hopefully it's not a Shadow of Doubt. That'd be really bad. I'm not sure what lands. I'm looking at the mana base here. It's gonna be blue, probably green. I guess green is slightly better because of the ooze. And let's Cascade. I think this might be the first Bloodbraid elf I've cast in Modern. Actually, that's not true. I did a league with Jund. Yeah. Bloodbraid into click. Alright, let's see what the hell is going on over there. Tokens, okay. And I see an Intangible Virtue, but I have to see the rest of this and get a screenshot of it. Hmm. We're probably taking intangible virtue here. That seems correct. Black white tokens. And we'll go ahead and just smash. We're putting a lot more pressure on them than they are on us. Is he really double blocking? Okay, I'm fine with that. The tokens are pretty dangerous, so... because of cards like Intangible Virtue. I'm assuming we're going to see a Temple of Silence and Legions landing here. But he may have drawn something better than that. Like if he drew land Lingering Souls, there's a Temple of Silence, and Bitter Blossom. I guess that's better. So we could go, we could play the Ooze and just start exiling. That is an option. And hold up the Dismember if that's relevant at all. He's going to be playing Sorin next turn, maybe. He would have had to hit a land if he's going to, an untapped land. The problem with going Bloodbraid is if we hit a removal spell. I guess the only one in the deck is Dismember. I don't know this deck well enough to know for sure. I guess there's really not that many bad targets it could hit. It's just Dismember. Oh, it could hit another click. That would be bad too. So maybe the upside of playing Ooze here is high enough that I just want to play it. And I think yes, because, yeah, I think that's correct. That's tough though. I actually don't know. You know what? Let's go ahead and just play Bloodbraid here. It may be wrong, but I feel like I just want to put pressure on his life total. Hopefully we don't hit something bad here. Bolt's fine. The chances of us hitting something like useless is pretty low there. I mean, like less than 10%, I think. And getting in here with this amount of damage is huge. The Keswick Wolf Run is actually nice here because the Vendilion Click can still get through for quite a bit of damage. Thoughtseize, so he'll probably take the Scavenging Ooze here regardless, so I'm not going to do anything in response to that. And we'll just have the Dismember. He just knows about it now, which is like, okay. I think he's just dead to... I don't know, it depends on what he drew, because he could have easily drawn Fatal Push or something. And then being aggressive by just like dismembering the Fairy Rogue there. Yeah, I don't really like that play as much. This is a little safer. Sure. I think he has to chump here unless he has Fatal Push in hand. He has Sorin and another card. Is what we know about. And we'll go blue-green on this Wooded Foothills. Okay. I'm kind of thinking he has Path here. He thought for quite a while on his play, and maybe I shouldn't be playing around it. I don't know. Like I guess I could just bash with both. Give the Vendilion Click Trample. If he does have Path, then I can just second main phase Ooze. I think that's fine. I don't really love the idea of running out Ooze into potential removal if he draws it the following turn, but yeah. I think because if he doesn't have Path or something, he has to jump the Bloodbraid here. Okay. So I like giving the click trample and then just playing Ooze. I think that's the best play here. Because it's 3 mana, deals 2 damage. And then that plays around him having Path. Oh, I just gave the fucking rogue. I'm so bad. Lol. Misclick, obviously. Okay, so he does have the Path. Interesting. And we'll go ahead and just dig up green here. I think the more green, the better. And we're just gonna try to take over with this Ooze. That's pretty unfortunate there, because we could have gotten in for 2 more damage, which would be super relevant right now. So he's probably gonna play Sorin. And I'll be completely honest, I actually forget all the modes on Sorin. I forget, it depends on which one it is. There's one of the 4 drops I like, and then the one that everyone ends up playing all the time is one that I don't like. I like the one that you can create emblems off of. The one that just gives your dudes 1/0 and makes like a vampire, I don't think that one's very good. Okay. So he's stabilizing his life total, which is smart. So we can, if we bash at him and dump everything into Kessig, or we don't have to dump everything into Kessig, we just have to give it trample. And then, so 1, 2, 3 for its trample, and then we can pump it up to a 6/6, assuming there's 6 creatures in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, or 4 creatures in the graveyard. So no, we can only pump it 3 times, up to a 5/5, meaning that we probably want to kill these. I guess maybe just killing the Sorin is the right call here. Because we're going to have to give Ooze. Let's do the math here. We have to give Ooze trample for 3. And then we have 3 more mana. So if we do that, he becomes a 5/5. And that's not enough to kill Sorin. But he will have to put the Fairy Rogue in the way of it, which I think is worth it. We could also play the Seam Vents untapped for 1 more, and then he does lose Sorin even if he doesn't chump. We could also do or threaten 6 damage at his face, and then he's forced to block, going down to 3. Because he's going to die to Bitter Blossom the following turn. I think that's actually better because the bird is just lethal if he doesn't block. Yeah, I think I want to threaten his life total here. And see what he does on the block. Yeah, he's going to block. So we have to exile a creature. We have to give it trample. Red, green. And I kind of want to to play the bird. So I might just do this for 0. And then play the bird, because the bird does an extra damage the following turn anyways. Okay, we targeted the right thing this time. And we'll exile that. And we'll exile that. And we'll play the bird. He's going to go down to 4. And I think we have this. His best draw here, I think, is just a removal spell for the ooze, because the ooze is a pretty big deal for him right now to have to deal with. But the birds do quite a bit of damage as well. If we hadn't made the play error earlier, he'd be at 2. So we'll just take this 2. I'm obviously not going to chump it. Okay. Land does not help us. So we'll go ahead and bash with the... What is the emblem? That player sacrifices a creature. So I think what we're going to do is bash with ooze at his face. Let's see. Keswick Wolf Run does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty good, because we could bash with the... I think we just bash with the ooze at his face and pump it. It's a little risky. Because the other play here is we bash with the bird at his face and the ooze. Ooze could also go to his face, I suppose. Sorin ultimating is kind of a problem. But he has to have removal plus Sorin ultimate. And you would have to have a piece of removal just to live through this, I'm pretty sure. So maybe we just do want to kill the Sorin. Or put a lot of pressure on the Sorin anyways. I mean, it's pretty likely that he's going to have push or path. Or not pretty likely, but it is a high possibility. It's a tough call. Yeah, you know what? I think I want to point the bird at Sorin and the ooze at his face. I think that's the right call. We'll see what he blocks here. We'll just get a blue. Do it for 5. Sorin's going to go down to 2. So you just lose. Unless you have another removal spell. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Doesn't get luckier than that, does it? Yeah, he drew back to back to back removal spells. He's obviously going to ultimate Sorin here. And I think we're actually going to lose this. Oh, you don't ultimate Sorin. Seems greedy. Wow, Okay, so we just drew too many lands there, and he drew too many relevant cards. We got really unlucky there. We should have won that. The chances of him getting out of that were so low. Pia seems good. His Staticaster seems fantastic. Cage does shut down the Lingering Souls, which is okay. Ancient Grudge, not so much. Roast, not so much. Blood Moon, no. Natural State, I probably want in to deal with the Anthem effects. So probably like those 5 in. And Vendilion Click is probably bad in this matchup. And I'm guessing Dismember is probably not great either. It would hit things like Scullers and whatnot, but yeah, so does Natural State, so does Lightning Bolt. So we're just gonna submit with this. I think that's correct. Wow, I cannot believe how lucky he got there. That's funny. This seems a little risky. If he kills our bird, we're not in great shape. I think we mulligan that. Yeah, we'll keep this. Pia's good, but I don't think we can actually keep that on top. I think I'm just gonna go for a basic green here. Plays it tapped. So we'll probably go for blue-green on this one. And then this one's probably going for blue-red. And we can get in for 1 damage if we want to. We could also just play the Kessig Wolf run, but the problem with doing that is then we can't... Well, yeah, we can electrolyze the following turn, I suppose. I think I'm just going to fetch for blue-red because I'm going to end up doing that anyways, and it filters my deck a little bit. And then I'll just play Goyf, bash for 1. I think being on the play here, the extra life is worth it. So blue-red, yes, we wish to pay 2. Play Goyf, bash for 1. Incoming Hierarch beats. Here comes, boys. 19. And I have no idea. There's a lot of turn 2 plays. Sculler, Raise the Alarm, Bitter Blossom, sure. And we probably want to leave the Bolt in hand. Even though we could get in there for 1 more damage with the Goyf, I don't think that seems worth it. And I'm definitely going to hold up Electrolyze here in case he plays like a Lingering Souls the following turn. We definitely want to do that as an end of turn play. So we'll go ahead and just bash for 2. And he gets a fairy and loses a life. Okay. And end of turn, we're just going to electrolyze 1 and 1. And we'll go ahead and fetch first. Or green, blue? Yeah, green, blue, I guess. The only double red card we have is the 1 of Pia. Which I guess if we draw that, that would be kind of annoying. So the mana is definitely something to consider here. And if we draw Jace... Yeah, we can cast Jace off the Hierarch, and I think if he has removal, he's not going to be targeting the Hierarch here. So we'll get green, red then, because we want double green, we want double red, and we have double blue. So green, red. And I like green because if we top deck an Ooze, then more green mana. Blue, red, other. Yikes. This guy's had, like, the nut answers. Yeah, and we drew our Jace. But that's okay. We're gonna play the Hierarch here. And, bash for... Oh, I'm so bad. I should have played Hierarch first. Like, literally every worst case scenario has happened this match with the path fatal push draw on his part. So this is a little embarrassing that I have to play this second main, but yeah, no plays. Sure. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and bash. See what happens. I'm guessing it's gonna be a path or something. Raise the alarm. Okay. I think we'll just let that happen. Like, him having a removal spell I do not think is worth it. And I think we go ahead and play Jace here and just hold up the bolt. We haven't played a land yet this turn, so I'd like to be able to brainstorm. And yeah, we have more green 1-drops than we do red. So if we draw land and a green 1-drop, we can still play it. Let's go ahead and brainstorm. And we'll fetch the lands away. Another raise the alarm? Sure. What we really need is it Staticaster is what we need to find. Intangible virtue. Jesus. Well, I don't want to fault the deck here. I think that we just kind of ran unlucky here. So he's going 3 at Jace. And 2 at me. So if I just take it, and I throw both the bolts at his face, put him at 4, and then untap, draw a card. Let's say it's a dead card, and we Kessig Wolf run for 1, 2, 3, 8, and get in there for 2. So if we top deck a bolt, we can win. But if we top deck a land, do we win too because of the Bitter Blossom? Because we know there's a land on top, so we just don't have to fetch this. I think we might actually win. Let me do the math again. So 4 from the Tarmogoyf. Actually, Jace is going to die, so Tarmogoyf is going to be 1 bigger. So 5. Oh no, he can just... I'm sorry, Vigilance. God damn it. Yeah, I don't think we really have an out here outside of, like... drawing double Is It Staticaster, which the best chance of us drawing that is with Jace, so I think we do protect the Jace. That fucking Vigilance, man. So we'll protect the Jace. He should have swung the ground dudes at Jace, because that's probably the thing I wanted to protect here. I guess if we do draw it double as its Staticaster, we do have a chance at winning this. That is not double is its Staticaster. Alright. Alright. This hand doesn't seem fantastic. Because if I'm going up against a deck that doesn't care about the removal, like Grixis Control or something, they're just gonna like kill this and then I have nothing. So I think that this is worth mulliganing for a better curve. This is slightly better. Bloodbraid, I guess on top? I might be wrong. We'll see, we'll play a fetch land here and see what we're facing. Trying to think of what else we would want to draw besides another Bloodbraid. You know what, I'll just play that. I mean, Bloodbraid is kind of like one of the cards that this deck is built around, so... Oh, is this the same fucking guy? It is. Okay. I should have seen that it was his name. Oops, this window, I need to figure out this window thing on my stream. There we go, now it fits better. And we'll probably go like red, blue, and play the ooze. We'll say the mana is a little demanding in this deck. You got double blue on Jace, you've got Scavenging Ooze, and then you're playing the third color. So us bashing doesn't really do all that much, because he's swinging back for 2, and but maybe just threatening his life total is kind of where we want to be at. I'm just afraid that he's going to outrace us here, but we'll see. Really wish we had a turn, or any play right here. And I probably should have played the Scalding Tarn, because Misty Rainforest is probably going to dig up... Okay, so we wouldn't have blocked anyways, so the attack was good. Probably just get green-red with this. And... yeah, I think we're just going to play Bloodbraid here and see what we find. Spin the wheel. Green, red, other. Goyf is fine, I suppose. And do I want to hold the Bloodbraid back? Probably. I don't want to let him gain. Like, I'm going to bash for 3, but he's going to swing back and get in for 2, because I don't really want to block that. Goyf is actually, like, not really the best card there. I wish I did a removal spell. This black-white deck is not one that I've seen in quite a while. Another intangible virtue. So I think we just play another Bloodbraid here. Jace bounce doesn't really do anything. We'll hit him on the click. I think we have to take intangible virtue because that card just is too much for us to deal with. And then we'll go ahead and bash with one Bloodbraid, I think. It's kind of unfortunate. This is a good example of where not playing hand disruption with the Goyf is actually hugely problematic, because this is just a 1-2 for 2, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I think just bash for the 3 here and hold everything else back. Probably Soren, yeah. Okay. And we'll just block like that. Yeah. So we can go Jace bounce, but that seems a little loose. I think we're just gonna... I don't know, do we have to just play click this turn? Let's see, we can bash with the Bloodbraid at Soren. Yeah, because if we play Bloodbraid, we Bloodbraid into something irrelevant, like a Birds of Paradise, let's say, then he just crashes in for lethal and doesn't block. If we play click plus bird, which is probably what we have to do to stay alive, yeah, I'll go ahead and just bash with Bloodbraid at Soren. Trade it for a token. And I think I actually kind of like Jace bounce now. Yeah. I think Jace is our best chance of coming back into the game here. Just hoping that we can keep his dudes off the board. It's going to be really difficult because he has like a Danto in play, but he doesn't have infinite mana to be doing that. Because that does cost 4 mana for him. He's 5 mana in play right now. Temple of Silence puts a card on... Raise the Alarm's a very good card for him. Not as good as Lingering Souls, but still good. Thoughtseize, sure, he gets a good card. And we'll see what we draw here. But we're probably brainstorming and not bouncing. Depending on what we draw though, we may still just bounce. And, ooh, that's good. So if we bounce the vampire here, and we play bird, and then have click up, we could chump with bird, block the soldier with Tarmogoyf, and block the fairy rogue, and then keep Jace alive. Keeping Jace alive seems like the best thing to be doing here. So we'll do that, play the bird, and we'll probably, let's see what he did with the, he put a card on bottom. Okay, if he had put a card on top with the Temple of Silence, I probably would click him on his upkeep, but here I would rather him, um, I guess we could just, no. I was thinking we could bash into Sorin, but you can just double block, that's bad. If I had removal, then I would, like a bolt, then I'd be much more willing to do that. But here I kind of want to make him attack, thinking that he's going to kill Jace. But he's just bashing at me. Okay, well that's better, because we're happy to go to 2. What are you doing? Zealous? Zealous is not good. Destroy target creature. Okay. Well, that dies. We have to block 2 of them. And we're going to click ourselves to get this click out of our hand. The Goyf isn't bad, but it's probably not enough here. We gotta put the bird in front, I think. Yeah. He's just getting too much value out of this Bitter Blossom here. So we have to brainstorm. And Bolt plus Goyf does keep us alive. So I think we put both Jaces on top here, play the land, play the Goyf, and then hold up bolts. Go green. Yep, that's the way to tap that. Still alive. We gotta bolt the fairy. Like that. Go bolt. And then we'll exile 2 creatures. Okay, he is zealous. This guy is drawn so fucking well. One of the problems with black-white tokens, you don't have any really way of like, I mean, it's like Jund, or it's way worse than Jund, but it's similar in the sense that you don't have a lot of control over your draw steps. But when it does nut curve, it can be difficult to deal with. So we want Staticaster for sure. We want Pia. The natural states are pretty huge here. The negate might not even be terrible either. He has quite a few non-creatures, and especially being on the play, we could hit a Bitter Blossom or something, which would be huge. Oops. I don't think I want Blood Moon. I'd imagine that Black-White Tokens has enough basics, and they also play Path, so it's probably not good. Grafdigger's Cage does shut off the Lingering Souls, but I don't think that's enough of a reason for me to want to bring it in. Ancient Grudge, no. Crumble, no. Ceremonies, no. So I think it's the same sideboard that we had last time, but just bring in the negate this time. We did not see Sculler, so I think this member is bad here. And what was the other thing we took? Oh, Click. Click's not great. And one more card. Mm, we're on the play. Does that make a difference? Maybe Courser. Yeah, maybe Courser. Or a Jace. I think I'm going to take out a Jace here. A non-foil Jace, of course. Yikes. Man, one more land, this hand would be so good. But I think you have to mulligan it. Like, you could play Scalding Tarn, Birds of Paradise, and then you still have two 2-drops, but you have no guarantee that he's not just going to Fatal Push. If we don't draw land, we probably just lose after that. So I'm going to mulligan. Not super stoked about it. This is pretty much the same hand. I'm going to keep this. If we see a land on top, we won't fetch. But it's pretty much the same hand, so I'm going to keep. So we'll put that on top. And then pass. I think I'll go for green, blue, and green, red. And take 6 damage, but we'll get Tarmogoyf in play. Because if he plays Bitter Blossom or Intangible Virtue, we can just kill it. Green, blue, and green, red is what we said. Our hand is so green that I feel like stacking up on the green here is probably the right call. That way if we draw land, we can go Natural State plus Ooze or Goyf, and if we don't, we can go Natural State plus Bird. This is probably Bitter Blossom. Yeah. So, working out his plan so far. Let's see what we draw. So the land makes me want to play Goyf, because it's chubby. And we don't have, so I'm probably going to shock myself again. That's a little dangerous, but again, this is one of the things that I think is wrong with this deck right now, is that the lands are just too painful. Like, wanting to cast Pia and Jace and Courser and have like turn 1 green, yeah, it's just a little strenuous on the mana base. And yeah, I think this is correct. Good, good. Oh, it's tribal as well. I forgot about that. That's really good. These Goyfs are pretty fat right now. Goyf is so strong. Another one? Okay. And maybe a path or a push. Doing the path main phase. Okay. We'll get green for the ooze, because our mana's good now. So green, green, green. Lots of green. We do have him on the back foot here. Okay, that's really good for him. There's nothing we can do about that. So yes, and probably digging up a blue, red, blue, blue, blue. Oh, don't think it really matters. Jace is a pretty fantastic draw. I think we're gonna tap the lands like this. Draw 3. And we'll go like that. And then we bash for 2 to here, definitely. We want him... No, never mind. He's not going to activate Shambling Vent, but I was thinking because the bird's in play, obviously. I was thinking if he wanted to crack in with Shambling Vent, he could bolt it, but I'm dumb. I'm dumb. He's getting pretty close to just dead here, so... It's probably a Jace, yeah. I think we can go ahead and just brainstorm, planning on shuffling away 2 cards. You have to be a little bit careful of Zealous Persecution. So if we bash with the Ooze, I think we might actually just have him dead. Can we just bolt Electrolyze? I think we can. And I don't think he has any instant speed life gain. So we're just gonna go like that. Like that. And go bolt. Electrolyze. That should be game. Are you fucking serious? This guy has had the most insane answers. Okay, well at least we get to shuffle away the island, I guess, but we're gonna lose Jace here, which is bad. Dude, seriously, every single time. That's so funny. We'll bash for 2 for sure here. And watch him have Zealous Persecution. You know he's gonna have it. You fucking know he's gonna have it. No, is he just gonna... Okay. I thought he was gonna have it. Alright. Alright, so he probably has to kill Jace with the Shambling Vent. Or, I mean, I guess he could just play a pump spell and kill Jace, which is better. Blessed Alliance. I didn't play around that instant speed life gain. Intangible Virtue, it's very good for him. Probably not as good as the Sorin because his life total is so low right now, but the Vigilance is very nice just in terms of blockers. Poor Jace. You did so much work. We're gonna let you die. And we'll get a green blue, I suppose. Yikes. Okay, well, let's Bloodbraid. And do we want to attack? If we attack with Bloodbraid, he has to block. And then we get to have Ooze on defense against the Shambling Vent in case that's his only way of staying alive. I think that's our best bet here, but he has a lot of ways to gain life when he untaps, so I think we're just gonna bash with Bloodbraid, just so we have something to exile with the Ooze. Okay. And we'll just leave this in hand. I kind of want to lose a bird just so we have something else to exile with the Ooze. We'll go ahead and just exile both of these. I think that's fine. It does make our Goyf smaller, but we've already lost 2 Goyfs here, so it's fine. I think it's more likely that we end up needing the extra mana. Okay. So I think we'll just play Courser. And do we want to play the land? I think we do at this point. And we don't want to attack. That's fine. I don't really know why you'd board that in, but even the Blessed Alliance seems weird to me. Okay, so we'll block with Bird here and then exile it, and then Ooze is, yeah, I mean Ooze is just like kind of lethal. Like he has to lose his whole board to it. Let's go ahead and exile that. Unless he has like land Fatal Push. Yeah, that seems like a pretty big error on his part. So we'll bash with both. He can't triple block the Courser, so we're safe on this attack. Okay. And sure, that resolves. And then we'll go ahead and electrolyze that. Red. Right? Yeah, red. And then we'll play... No, we don't need to play Staticaster yet. I forgot his flash. Yeah, and then we just say go. That play that he just had, I think he messed that up a little bit there. Could just play the Staticaster, like he knows about it, so. But I guess it doesn't really like change our hand next turn, so I think this is fine. Yikes, we're getting like pretty unlucky with our draws here. Do we bash with ooze? I don't know. If we bash with ooze and he triple blocks, we would Staticast, ping the rogues, and then he would lose those two and the shambling vent. I think that's a good trade. I don't think we bash with Courser though, because he can just, well, if he blocks with shambling vent, I don't really want to lose Courser here. And he may just have a removal spell for this. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. This guy's gotten some ridiculous draws, but that's magic. Magic. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's game. Alright, let's give another shot here. So far, deck not performing well. I think it's too mid-rangey. Like, it's just a mid-rangey deck, and it's like, why not just play Jund? Liliana just seems better than the 3-drops that are in this deck. This is a good hand. They did get very, very lucky in both the matches that we played, but we've said that enough. It's probably going red-blue with the Wooded Foothills. Jund, Mardu Pyromancer. Could be either. I think he probably takes Jace here. Maybe one of these. He probably has removal for these two. Although if he is like a graveyard-oriented deck, he might take the ooze. Like if he's playing Bedlam Reveler. If he doesn't take Click, that's most likely our play next turn. Okay, so I'm guessing he's a graveyard-oriented deck then. Part of me kind of wants to click myself just to see what happens, but I'm gonna see what he does on his turn before I decide to click. Because if he does nothing, then I want to click myself so I can have a better chance at drawing a Jace. And I don't really need the information. Like, I feel like people will always just click the opponent, but that's not always correct. Like, me having 2 Jace here is not relevant, and me playing a Jace into an open board is extremely relevant. So, this looks like Jund. Wooded Foothills. Still thinking Jund. Grimflare. Okay, so it is Jund. Some sort of variant. Blue-red. Yes, we are going to click ourselves here. Because if we can go Jace bounce, that's pretty good. Nope. So we still get to run out the Goyf, which is good. And we'll just bash for 3. Their life total is getting pretty low right now. So even if they use an instant speed removal spell to kill our dude, they won't have Delirium. Liliana is a decent play for them, but I probably just sack Bird and then just play Goyf the following turn. Looks like a Liliana. Maybe a Dismember. Each player discards a card. So I think that Jace is actually slightly worse than the Bloodbraid now, because like going on the offensive would be pretty brutal for him right now. And if we don't draw anything, we definitely want to play Goyf. So as good as Jace is, we're gonna say no. Okay, well that's game. So we'll go ahead and do that for that. And that should be lethal, right? With the instant in the graveyard. Yep. It would be brutal, because if he wasn't dead, we played Goyf there, and then he pulsed our Goyfs and bolted our click. That would be nasty. Nasty? Okay, so they're Traverse Jund. Probably want the Blood Moons here. Probably don't want a lot of this stuff. Roast is probably pretty good. It hits opposing Goyfs and Grimflayers. Natural State... no. Static Esther, it's Bob. If he's playing some sort of white variant with Lingering Souls, then maybe we'll bring that in later. But I'm not gonna... We didn't see that, so... Dismember is very good in this matchup. Electrolyze might be a little dirtily. I think I might take out like 2 Click and 2 Electrolyze here. So, my main critique of this deck so far is, this is technically a 1-drop, is these 3-drops seem strictly worse than Jund 3-drops. And then if you compare the rest of this deck, like you're trading Ramp, which Ramp is good to get into your Jaces and Bloodbraids faster. I'll admit that like the 4-drops in this deck are very, very powerful. But Jund also gets to play Bloodbraid, they also get to play Bolt, Ooze, and Tarmogoyf. They get to play all those cards. So it's pretty much the same deck, except your 3-drops just aren't as good. and I would probably say that hand disruption is generically better, especially in an open meta game where no one really knows what people are going to be bringing to a tournament right now with the unbannings. That playing the hand disruption is probably better because decks aren't going to be built perfectly, so being able to pick those apart is good. Let's submit. Penelope, you want this piece of salami? Yeah, you do. Eat that salami. This is too slow. I hate mulliganing against hand disruption, but that is too slow. Keep that. Jace is a good top deck. I do like this deck overall, though. I get to play Jace, so it could be worse. You gotta take Hierarch there. What? I don't understand that, but like Click I think is the last card I would have taken there if I were him. I can't see his hand, so I can't say for sure, but I mean unless he's planning on just following that up with like Inquisition, like double Inquisition here, and then he knows he's gonna take the other two cards anyways, but I would still take the better card. Weird, man. Or maybe he just has hella fatal pushes. I think we'll go blue-red with this. Or green-red? Green-red seems good too. Let's go green. And I want to play the ooze out last, because if I end up holding that for quite a while, then it could potentially be more powerful. Yeah, I think we definitely want to get a green source there, and we're lacking red, so Stomping Ground seems like the right land. I'm guessing this is an Abrupt Decay or a Terminate. Yup. Yup. Inquisition Thoughtseize, probably Thoughtseize. Taking the Jace. Cycling. Okay, maybe I don't know what I'm playing against. I guess maybe they just play the cycling to put an artifact and a creature in the graveyard. I have seen Traverse decks do that, because for 1 mana they get 2 cards in the graveyard, I guess. It's usually like a 1-of though. So he's probably looking for a land here. Unless he's just slow rolling the land. Or he's looking for Death Shadow and then just play Swamp and Death Shadow. It's a little risky on his part, because if I have Bolt, then I don't think he knows about Bolt yet though, but I think he can assume since I'm playing Rogue that I'm probably playing Bolt. Sure. And I kind of like playing the ooze and exiling Architects and Goyf, because then it puts the ooze outside of range of a what's it called? Bolt. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. And The problem with playing Jace on an open board right now is Bolt kills it, Pulse kills it, Bloodbraid kills it, Bloodbraid end to end. Yeah, it's just so I don't think Jace is fantastic here. I think the Ooze poses a bit more of a problem for him. I could be wrong. Yeah, maybe Jace Brainstorm is just correct. I don't know. Keeping off Delirium, what does that do? It makes the Traverse significantly worse. And Ooze being outside of Pulse range I think is pretty relevant. Or Bolt range, I say Pulse. And say go. I think that's the safest play right there. The Architect's Will is a little weird, but I think I'm right about it. He's just playing that as maybe a one of. Push, maybe? Thoughtseize? Another Architect's Will. Okay, so he's playing more than one. Goif! He's so chubby. He's so chubby, Goif. So we could play another Ooze, which is pretty good, and then we could exile down to just instant sorcery land, and then get in there with our 4/4 Ooze. That's pretty good. Question is, do we want to bash for... Because if we dump everything into one Ooze, I don't think we want to dump everything into one Ooze. We could go Jace Bounce too, and bash. That's pretty good. It's a nice little tempo play, because if he wants to replay Goif, he needs to have an answer to it. I think the Oozes keep the Goif down enough that we don't really have to worry about it. So I think just playing Ooze, and then it is sorcery, instant, and land, so it's going to be a 3/4 once we take out the two creatures. And we're going to be bashing with a 5/5. And it is, again, keeping him off of Delirium, which is certainly relevant. And we've got gas in our hand. Ooze is such a good card. I love this card. One of the reasons, one of the shells that I've been messing around with is Arbor Elf, Utopia Sprawl, Ooze, Goif, Courser, and then I don't know what to play from there, but I like that Bloodbraid into Death Shadow. That's sexy. So if we draw land, we can play Jace and exile the Street Wraith out of the graveyard, and then bash for put him in a position where he has to chump with both. Oh, bashing seems loose, bro. So we could just Bloodbraid and see what we hit. What's the best thing we could hit? We could also go Jace, bounce the Death Shadow, bash with both of the Oozes, and then he's gonna have to chump with Bloodbraid. And then Birds of Paradise is just lethal. That's pretty good. And we can also protect Jace. No, we can't protect Jace. So he's gonna kill Jace with Goyf, but he also kind of has to leave Goyf back as a blocker. So I think this is the best play here, is just playing out the Jace and getting rid of that Death Shadow. And then that makes any fetch lands or Street Race or anything like that just dead cards. I have a hard time seeing us lose this game. It would need to be like Pulse plus Bolt. And then Pulse plus Bolt would actually be very good. And then yeah, like a basic and play your Death Shadow. It's a 12/12 Death Shadow. I mean, I shouldn't speak too soon. That Death Shadow is fucking terrifying. Okay, so we win. I mean, he sees the Exalted, right? Unless he has Slaughter Pact. If he has Slaughter Pact, he could win. But we're just gonna bash here. The good old Birds of Paradise finish. Alright. One more. And then I gotta go walk my dogs here. He wasn't really doing much in the beginning turns there. Maybe he just had a bad draw. I don't know. And certainly not a mulligan. We will keep. I'll probably go for Breeding Pool. I'm gonna say it again. The mana base on this is very, very painful, which makes the Courser of Kruphix probably not nearly as viable. And I think I do want to go green-blue for Jace. Obviously not as good if we're going up against aggro, but we can also play the mountain and turn to the click, which is Dece. Traverse for a land. It's one of the reasons I love that card. It's that in openers it can fix. It's kind of like Serum Visions. You can keep a one lander because of it. And do we want to click him on his upkeep, or do we want to? Yeah, we probably want to click him on his upkeep. This is the same guy, by the way. Swamp, swamp. So we probably drew the swamp. And we're probably taking Goyf here. Is there a reason we wouldn't take Goyf? I don't think so. I think Goyf is the hardest thing for us to deal with. Because he's going to put an artifact and a creature in the graveyard, and Goyf's going to be huge. Yeah, he probably cycles that just in case he gets Traverse. So the Courser is a slightly safer play. I think I like the Courser here. Mainly because, like, if I Bloodbraid into a Dismember, I'd rather have the chance of there being something on the field. So let's go ahead and click. Bash for click. And if we have a land without the library, then this is pretty sweet. Green, green, other. Nope. And we'll just play that land. So we have the opportunity or ability to bolt something if we want to. So he can play Death Shadow. We can bolt it though. Not anymore. We could double bolt it. We may need to double bolt it. Yeah, I don't think we want to bolt in response. I mean, I guess he would go to what? If we bolt in response, he goes to 9, and then down to 7 from the Thoughtseize. And then he would have to fetch for a shock. So he'd be down to 4 if you want to play, because he doesn't have the other basic is in his hand. This is what his hand is. So and I don't think they play 3 basics. I think they only play 2. So I think we do want to bolt in response, because then he can't play Death Shadow. Yeah, I think we just win the game after that. Why didn't he play the basic? Yeah, the basic's not in there. There's no way you play 3 swamps. Even if you do, it's still lethal. Yeah, okay. He's now realizing it. Alright. So we know what we're dealing with here. I think we want the moons. They can just kind of steal games. That seems worth it. I don't think we really want anything else. So let's like put those in. I forget. I think we put roast in last time for like Grim players and stuff. I think that's fine. It's probably better than Electrolyze. And the click has actually been pretty good for us. And I don't see Electrolyze doing a lot, so I think I'm just gonna be more proactive with the click here and play that. It's a good hand. So far, deck feels alright. Very mid-rangey. Just feels like Jund, you know? He'll probably take roast. I'm guessing he has a Grim Flare or something that he's gonna want to follow that up with. Sure. Yeah. Pay the No land drop? There it is. So he gets a basic off of that. So drawing another dork here would be pretty good. Goif would be fantastic. Ooze would be very good. I'm yawning. Oh, I guess, yeah, he does have delirium, doesn't he? Goif is good, That's a good draw for us. So if he just plays Goif, we can just roast it, and he knows that. So it's a little weird that he took that. He might have, like, Bobble in hand or something. But if he runs out Goif and does nothing else, the roast is very good. I'm actually not a huge fan of having this in the sideboard because I usually like to reserve sideboard slots for cards like Blood Moon that are more backbreaking. Yeah. Like Courser. And I don't think I'm going to fetch for the red here, even though I could draw Pia. I think I want to get basics in case I want to run out Blood Moon at any point. Okay. We're certainly not lacking Bloodbraid Elves. Could see a Death Shadow here, which would be pretty hard to deal with. Us drawing or having a land on top of the library next turn is very, very, very important. Okay, so probably Goif. Yep. Hmm. I'm not sure which one is harder to deal with. I think the Goif is probably harder to deal with long term. So I think we're going to go ahead and roast the Goif. Just double checking that there's a sorcery in the graveyard before I do that. And like we're letting the Grim player get in for a hit. Certainly not ideal, but what are you gonna do? Jeez, he's going low here. That's kind of what his deck is supposed to do, but like he knows we have Bloodbraid in hand. So seeing a bolt on top, knowing that we could just... Are you, Yikes. I will take 8. Oh, and he gets to do it twice. That's pretty good. He is playing Temur Battle Rage, okay. I think it's smart to play some number of that, even if you just play like 2 in the sideboard, because when you go up against Tron, like, it just like finishes games very, very quickly. Even like on a Grim player right here, like 2 mana, 4 damage, and to give your dude double strike and the ability to connect twice. Pretty good. Yay, I'm gonna land. And I have a Dismember on top. Probably not a card we really want to be casting. And I think the Bloodbraid. The good news is we potentially get to see what the Bloodbraid is cascading into. And we'll get a blue here in case we cascade into Blood Moon. And to preserve our life total too, of course. That's good. It's an instant. I think we just bashed with Bloodbraid here. Like, 1 damage is not very relevant. And we can actually double block this flare if we want to. Just to be safe, because I think our hand is better than his, and we're at a pretty safe life total here. Like, really the only thing we're super scared of is Dust Shadow. Okay. Alright. He concedes. I don't think he had a way out of that. Deck felt alright. It felt middle of the road, but for a deck that is entering a new meta and you're trying new things out, I think that's decent. Here's the list again. Vendilion Click was a little strenuous on the mana, but it was actually pretty good. Dismember was really good the times that we cast it. Electrolyze was bad. It was too slow. So maybe cut the Electrolyze. Courser was okay, but it didn't really hit very much, so maybe Tireless Tracker is just better here. There was a point in the first match that we played that Tireless Tracker would have been just strictly better than the Courser. But with Jace in play, Courser is obviously pretty insane. Kessig Wolf Run was good. Mana Base was a little tough. It was really painful because you kind of have to fetch up the duels in order to hit double blue, double green. And then after post board, we brought in Pia a lot. So another double red. Kind of rough. Would have changed in the sideboard. Natural State was good, but that you can kind of replace with whatever. Yeah, interesting deck. So thanks, Zach, for sending me that list. And 2-2 overall. I will be playing more throughout the week, so make sure you follow the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thanks for watching.